At the start of every class, I ask you to stand with your feet pointing straight ahead or feet pointing forward. Now, everyone seems to have their own versions of what that is to them and what it feels like to them. So I'd like to give you a couple of markers that we can use to help measure if our feet are pointing straight ahead or not. So I'll just stand up. Most of us will stand with a bit of a turnout with our feet maybe splayed out to the side. Some, to various degrees, you might be really turned out, especially if maybe you did some dance training, and others to a lesser degree, but it is still a turn out. And you might not even have an even turn out. So one foot might be more turned out than the other. That's very common. Now, others might stand with their feet wide and feet turned in, and again to various degrees, and maybe not the same with each leg. So over time, over decades of our feet being in that position, our tissues have adapted to that position, and what feels pointing forward to us might not actually be pointing forward at all. So what are those measurements that we're going to use? Now, the simplest way to line up your feet pointing straight ahead is to look at the outside edge of your foot and line that up with a straight line. You can use the edge of a yoga mat, you can use a floor tile, you can use the edge of a rug, just any line that's pointing straight on. You're going to try and line up the outside edge of your foot. Now, what happens if the outside edge of your foot is not straight? So mine is not straight. You can see I've got this bit here that kind of fleshes out to the side. So everyone's feet is different, and try not to use your toes because we try not to use our toes because our toes can move independently from our feet. So toes aren't the best accurate or the most accurate way to measure, but instead we're going to use some foot bones. So if you think of the pinky toe joint, so where your pinky toe meets your foot, that joint there, you're going to think of lining that up with the outside edge of this ankle here. So this kind of hard ankle bone on the edge of your ankle, I guess. You're going to line up that line. So if that ankle was to create a plumb line down, it should line up with the joint of that pinky toe. So I'm just going to put that towards the edge of the mat. And so you can see how this part of my foot will overhang it, but that is where the pinky toe joint and the ankle bone is lined up. Now you might feel, and obviously you would do it with the other side as well, you might feel when you do this that you are really pigeon-toed. It can feel pretty extreme, especially if you have been in a turned out position for most of your life, for decades. So going into that position can sometimes feel pretty extreme. So I don't want you to really crank your feet into that position or not forcing it, especially if it causes pain or discomfort. But know that it is the baseline for our exercises, and that lots of tissues need to adapt and to this new position. So every time that you catch yourself with your feet in your usual position or not in that forward position anyway, then just gradually bringing your feet more into that position is going to really help. It's going to put more or different loads and different inputs to your body than they're used to after all these decades of being in not that position. And over time, that will start to feel more second nature to you. So now you have a way to measure if your feet are pointing forward or not. So do actually do that measurement, and then you'll get a sense of what that means for you, what it feels like to you. And over time, it will start to feel like second nature, like I said. It might be over a long period of time, maybe a few years, but it will. And just know that it's not the only way our feet should be. Our feet are designed to point in all different angles and walk in all different directions over different terrain. But when you're standing facing straight ahead, when you're walking forward, then that in a straight line, then the feet pointing straight on position is going to be the best for you. It's going to cause the least friction, and your body is going to be happier for it. So have fun, play around with it, and take care. Thank you.